Well, welcome everybody. It's a great day. As they would say in the Chamber, a Chamber of Commerce day outside. So hopefully the weather will hold off and everybody get back to their cars and not get too wet. We'd like to welcome some of our dignitaries and elected officials. With us today is Mayor Terry Bellamy. Thanks for coming. City Councilman, I think I got this right, Gordon Smith. There we go. Thank you. City Manager Gary Jackson. County Commissioner, Chairman David Gant, right there in front of us. Commissioner Carol Peterson. Here we go. And one of our favorites, Mr. K. Ray Bailey, or as Mr. Bailey, I call you. County Manager, Dr. Wanda Green. Saw her earlier. There she is back there. President of Advantage West, Scott Hamilton. Scott. And President of AB Tech, who's just been fantastic helping us with our training, Dr. Hank Dunn. And Chamber of Commerce President, Kit Kramer. I did see her come in. There you go. And our very good friends from state government, Secretary Keith Crisco. And then Deputy Secretary Dale Carroll. And our really good friend, Marjorie Burkowski. Close? Okay, thank you. Thank you. So again, my name is Mark Treffinger. I'm the General Manager of this facility. It's a great day for Linamar. We're launching not only a new facility, but we're also launching 2 brand new programs in this facility also, 2 product lines. Just 3 months ago, believe it or not, we had 12 employees and 1 machine in this facility. Right now we have about 36 employees, on our way to 140 by the end of the year. And I was mentioning to somebody earlier, and they said, wow, hiring 100 employees, that seems like a lot of fun. And I said, well, if you average 2 to 3 interviews per employee, you're talking somewhere around 300 interviews you got to do between now and the end of the year. So it's a lot of work, but the folks have just been fantastic, and I'll talk about that just in a second. So you can see the amount of machines we brought in since having 1 in January. But believe it or not, by the end of this year, we're going to have 62 machines in this facility, and we're going to have spent, this is the right number, Jim, less than $53 million in capital for this facility. I have a budget to keep, and I know that's the number. In a few short weeks, again, I mentioned that we have some customers here today. In a few short weeks, we're going to be producing the engine block that you signed when you came in. If you haven't signed, please sign before you leave. For Volvo, believe it or not, we're going to be producing over 40,000 of these engine blocks here per year. And how do you put that in perspective? It's 167 of these that have to be made and shipped out of this facility every single day. So that's going to be some accomplishment. And we are starting production for our Volvo people May 1st. So if we didn't have enough to do launching a facility, launching the Volvo block program, another one of our great customers, Caterpillar, has asked us, and we are under contract to do a job for them. It is making axle components, and you'll see some of those up when you came in also, and one that we asked you to sign. At full production rate, these axle components that are mainly used on off-road mining equipment trucks, at full production, we're going to be producing somewhere in the neighborhood of 43 different part numbers. Okay, get this, 28,000 parts total in a single year, and some of those parts are weighing over 1,000 pounds. So you can imagine the logistics there. So in order to do that, obviously we needed a lot of help from a lot of different people. The support we've been getting from our corporate office, our leadership through the Southfield, Michigan office, and all the great folks that work there, and then all the many people from the Guelph facilities that have come down and on their time away from their own jobs to help us out. It's just been fantastic, and we can't thank all those folks enough. A big thank you to the state of North Carolina, the city of Asheville, and our local Chamber of Commerce. There are so many names to list of all the people that have helped and all the people that have just touched us and making us feel so welcome to be in the neighborhood, and we thank you tremendously for that. We do have to recognize our suppliers. Without a good supply partner, we couldn't do a lot of the things that we do. Machines are bought from suppliers and the tooling, etc. But I want you to know that it's not just machines being bought from Germany and some of the other countries, but we also, to date, we've spent over $2 million with local suppliers right here in this area. Over $2 million. You know, from truck drivers who have delivered the machines to us on time, to the company that recently refurbished the bathrooms for folks that had an opportunity to use the restrooms. And Jeremy, nice job getting it done yesterday, just in time, because with all these folks here needed to use the restroom, that wouldn't have been a good sight. So, so we can't thank those folks enough. A special thank you, and I can't say this loud enough, to a Linamar division. It's called the Center. They built every single fixture that we're loading in our machines, or that we've loaded in our machines. The robotic assembly cell that you see at the end of the aisle behind us, they just did a fantastic job putting all that together on time, lower than we expected as far as our cost, and the quality's just been fantastic. So. So John and your folks, just congratulations, and just a really, really good job. We appreciate all the efforts. Next, and very important also, is our employees, okay? The employees, you'll see, are wearing the black ICE shirts, which stands for Industrial, Commercial, and Energy. They have the team shirts on. They're sitting together because they are a team. You know, we started out, I was the first employee back in July of last year, and Tom Grime, my operations manager, came in, what was it, a couple days later, and I remember me and him sitting down the road at the German restaurant here, eating some, what was that stuff called again? Schnitzel. Eating some schnitzel, and we're like, can you believe in a short time, in a year's time, we're going to be making all these parts and producing all this this hardware, and because we were walking through and there was spider webs on us. We were finding snakes and lizards and all kinds of stuff. But as you can see, in a short time period, we've come a long way, and we couldn't do it without our employees. We wanted to hire people that would align with the culture that we wanted to have in this facility, and that's the Linamar culture. We wanted people to feel like they're running their own business. So whether you have a job to do, whether you're running a department, it's spend the money as if it was your own, okay? Treat people as if they were, you know, working for your own business, and everything else will take care of itself. And I'm happy to say every single person that we've hired, and they've all been from this area. Everybody's been hired from the area. You know, they've just done a fantastic job, and I just can't thank you guys enough for just, you know, fantastic job. But as I said, we still got a lot of work to do. Okay, so we're going to go from I think I said earlier we're about 37 people. Today we went from 12 to 37. We're going to be at 120 by the end of the year, and we got to keep that culture, keep going the way we're going right now. And lastly, but most importantly, is our customers. As I mentioned earlier, Caterpillar and Volvo are our two launch customers. And for our sales guys that are sitting in the room, somebody from Caterpillar said, when you're finished getting this launched and doing it timely and ready to go, we're going to fill the other building. Volvo folks have said the same thing. They got jobs lined up ready to give us to put in building 2 also. So Mr. Bailey, we may be expanding down the road and adding some new buildings. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention there are other customers in the building also. We do have a building 3 that we could very easily put work in there. And I think when Nick and myself were walking around the other day, we could probably get about 1 million square feet total in this facility. So we could double the size with additional buildings on this 63 acres of just beautiful, beautiful land. Lastly, and then I'll get off and continue with the program, I'd like to recognize, and if you would stand please, Jane Hayes, Katie Longley, and Heather Smersina. Please stand. I know you don't want to, but I want you to stand. Okay. Katie, where are you? You know that I couldn't do this, okay? All right? These are the folks that put this whole thing together, organized it, you know, put it the way it is, and of course with the help of the Linamar team from all over, just help make this a successful event. So I thank every one of you, and great job. So now at this time I'd like to turn over the program to Mr. Nick Adams. He's the president of Linamar's ICE Group. Nick?
So welcome. Well, it's been a long year, but let me make it official. Welcome to Linamar, North Carolina. You know, it wasn't that long ago, I think it was about 9 months ago, that I was invited to come to the Economic Development meeting in Grove Park Inn, June 30th. And we made the announcement that night that we were coming to Asheville. And it was, I tell Ray still, I still remember the welcome I got that night. Couldn't get people to stop clapping. It was just a tremendous feeling, you know, coming to Asheville that night and to hear and to meet all the people that are out here today that wanted us to be here and who helped us. I mean, the state, the city, county government, all the people in the area that reached out to us was a tremendous feeling. I remember leaving that night thinking, boy, we made the right decision to come to Asheville. The thing that's been even more impressive to me has been the support we've received after we announced we were coming to Asheville. You know, you might think, okay, they're coming, let's move on to the next challenge, but no question the continued support we've received from all areas has been fantastic and made the transition for us a lot easier than it would have been otherwise. So I want to thank everybody that's come out today, because you've all played a key role in that. So thank you again for all the support. You know, the job that Mark and his team have done is fantastic, and I know Mark recognized his people, and I wanted to also echo his feelings, but also with Mark, who set the tone for how we want to operate here. And we have a great group of people, and it shows Linamar that we can hire a great group of people, all from here, and that they can get the job done. So I really appreciate all your efforts, and it's all going to pay off because we're just going to continue to be successful as we go forward. So thank you for all the help you've been to us, the 37 original employees here. So thanks again. You know, as we move forward, I just want to recognize that there's some great help that we've had from some people, and those people that have been especially supportive are including our next speaker and the speakers that will follow. You know, I'd like to introduce Linda Hassenfrost to come up, and you know, the reason we're here today is because Jim and Linda believed in us and believed that this was the right thing to do. I also want to add that the Lin in Linamar stands for Linda, and as I mentioned last June 30th is Linda, Nancy, and Margaret, and the company's named after the founder's wife and 2 daughters. So a little trivia for you as you go forward. So anyway, let me introduce Linda.
Thank
you.
Thanks very much, Nick. Not sure how well you can hear me. Does that sound a little better now? Hey, I'd just like to say I'm the one who fixes all the electronic stuff at home too. Okay? So anytime you need some help, you just let me know, okay? So it's a real pleasure for me to be here today in Asheville at the grand opening of what is Linamar's 39th facility around the world. We're thrilled to have such a great representation here today. We've got lots of our own employees, we've got customers, existing customers, potential customers, and of course all the people from the state, from the county, and from the city have just been so instrumental in helping us to establish the facility here. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. So expanding into this region, into the southern part of the United States, was a really important step for us. We really see a lot of opportunity in this region in all areas of our business, whether it be the commercial vehicle, the automotive passenger car, or our access business over at Skyjack. At Linamar, we like to run our plants, or run our business rather, through small plants. Plants not dissimilar to what you're sitting in right here. So typically 100,000 square feet, maybe 200,000 square feet in size, typically 300, 500 employees. We try and create a good relationship between management and the people on the shop floor, between management and customers. So there's a lot of sort of individualized attention for those really important stakeholders. They care a lot about their people, they care a lot about their customers, and they care a lot about the money that they're spending because they're a small business and they're really running it like an entrepreneur. And then what we try and do is put lots of those little plants all really close together so that they can act like a big company in terms of a lot of talent and skill and resources all in one area in terms of purchasing power and the ability to move people around. A good example is our founding city, Guelph, where we were founded and where we are still headquartered, where we have 22 plants just like this and more than 8,000 employees. Now I tell you this because when you look around at the opportunities that we see in the area and the fantastic workforce that we have found since we have come here and the great support that we've seen from really all levels of government, we really feel that this could be a significant growth area for us and be another significant cluster for Linamar. We've been thrilled with the reception that we've received here in North Carolina, here in Asheville, from the city, from Buncombe County, from the state of North Carolina. Everywhere we turned, we saw wonderful support, and just as Mark and Nick have talked about, that support didn't stop when we signed the deal. It just kept going and continues to be really important for us, both financially, obviously, in terms of the financial help that we've received, but also just logistically in helping us get started and putting us in the right direction. We are most thankful for your invaluable assistance. We've also been thrilled by the fantastic reception here in the community, and as I've just mentioned, really impressed by the workforce and the people that are living here and that we've been able to hire. Fantastic skill level in people, great work ethic, and real excitement to be part of our organization, and that's just so important because you're not going to be able to grow anything if you don't have the right people in place. So that's been fantastic for us. And of course we wouldn't be here without the support of our customers and the contracts that they awarded to us. So, thrilled to have key customers here with us today. Volvo, Caterpillar, as you've heard, are our first two customers for this facility. But as is already mentioned, there's lots of space and lots more space in the building next door. So, please feel free to make ample use of that with continued contracts. So when Linamar started business in the basement of our family home way back in 1966, so 45, almost 46 years ago, we honestly never imagined that we'd be standing here today you know, with a company, 16,000 employees, $2.9 billion in revenues, 39 plants, 11 countries, and so much exciting potential to grow. You know, when I look back on that history, a lot of things have changed at Linamar since those early days, but I also like to think that a lot of things actually have stayed the same. I think that we're still a nimble company, we're a responsive company, we move quickly. We're a technically savvy company. We love machining. We love machining and manufacturing. And no, we're not quite dipping our hand into the chip bin and, you know, using the coolant as aftershave just yet, but it has been contemplated. We're a company that's excited about growing our business. We've got great, hardworking people who provide great service to our customers. You know, we care equally, and you probably gathered this already by hearing a couple of speakers, we care equally about our employees and our customers and our financial success. And it's really a huge part of how we go about running our business. You see it up on the wall, you hear us all talking about it, and I do think that's been a key for us since day one. We're an entrepreneurial company, we're excited about growing, we're an innovative company, an ingenious company, and like to drive that through in every single plant around the world. And I think it's those values that have allowed us to become the global company that we are today, and that will become the foundation for our business right here in North Carolina and around the world. You know, at Linamar, we're all about profitably growing our company, which creates great opportunities for all of our people on a global basis. We've got a goal of being $10 billion in sales by the year 2020. So inside of the next 10 years, we want to basically triple our size. Something that sounds ambitious, but really, I believe, very achievable with the caliber of people that we've seen here in North Carolina and that we have the pleasure of employing right around the world. And of course, North Carolina is now going to be an important part of that growth. So I look forward to our success here in Asheville and sharing that success with all of you who've been such an important part of it and continue to be, and the success that we will enjoy from that. So thanks very much for your attention. I'm going to hand it back over to Nick. Thanks.
My pleasure to announce our next speaker, Secretary of Commerce for the state of North Carolina, Keith Crispell. Would you like to come up?
Well, it's great to be here. What a great day. I think I've got a very tough act to follow in Linda, but I'll try my best. First of all, let me give you greetings from the governor. I spoke with her as I got off our transportation, and she, sorry she could not be here, but she's very excited about what is happening. She was here at the announcement, and she applauded as long as anybody did when you said you were coming. You know, life is really not fair to you all because, yes, you deserve to have about a 5-foot-tall, attractive blonde from the state, and you get a 6-foot-5-inch bald-headed man. But I'm sure you can overcome it on this great day in Asheville. I would like to thank those who have helped with us, all of us in this team. Dale Carroll's here, you know him, he's one of yours, and he was a big help on this project from the state standpoint. We even have a lady who works with us who grew up here, and so she wanted this project, Margie Bukowski. You know, she's a native too. Maybe there's a trend line there. Maybe they raise them pretty good here, and all. You know, I love this job, and I love what Commerce does to try to help people in North Carolina. Mainly, I love the teamwork that gets involved and pulls together from the chamber, from local, from the state level, and we have what's called in academic circles goal congruence. But in case the expectations get too high, let me tell you, we can't do it any better than this. We can't. When I think back to what was going on here, and through an understandable decision by a great company, Volvo, and then in initially about a year and a half, to have this happen. Please don't raise the bar anymore on us, because I don't think we can do it any better. It's just absolutely wonderful. A lot of hard work went into today, a lot of hard work and blood, sweat, and tears went into bringing this good company to this community. They've talked about the number of employees now, the number of employees that will be within a year, and they're good jobs. Nick and Linda, we know of your company's success. We know of your commitment, and we love what we hear about expansion. You know, I'm an old manufacturer. I spent 30 plus years, almost 40 years in manufacturing myself. That's what I do. This is a new job. I was in the elastic business. Now, Ray, I worked under a lot of tension. You didn't have to pay any more to hear that. And it's just particularly exciting for me to see manufacturing resurgence. And the good news is, this is not the only example in North Carolina. We have several other significant manufacturers that are coming to North Carolina. We have examples of manufacturers who are returning from Asia here. Now, they all won't return. I know they won't, because frankly, Linda, one reason I think I got my job is I know a little bit about globalization and a little bit about manufacturing, and this is a globalized world and a globalized market. But you know what? North Carolina can participate in that. We can compete in that. We can be a player in that new world. And that's the story we need to tell everybody in our community, that we can be. I love companies like Linamar because of what they do, as I said. But I also love them for what they do with their people. And I love them for what they do in the community they're in. You have been presented, Asheville and Buncombe County in this region, a wonderful citizen. And that is almost impossible to measure. We cannot put that in our model. We cannot put that in our analysis. We cannot put that in the number crunching that we all do for projects. But it's so very, very important. I'm proud to be a small part of today, and I'm very proud to be part of the team that brought Linamar to North Carolina. Again, back on the analogy of the elastic, I'm glad to see you're going to stretch this building into several more buildings and several more. The people at Commerce get tired of those jokes, but they work. Thank you very much, and again, that's the word I want to use for being here. We're very excited for North Carolina, for this community, and for this great company. Thank you.
I appreciate Secretary Crispo coming today, and obviously the support we've received from the state of North Carolina. It's been fantastic. Without saying, though, we've also had a lot of other areas of support that we need to recognize today, especially the city of Asheville. So we'd like to have Mayor Terry Bellamy come up and speak to us today as well. Thank you.
I can do something. I can do one thing. Let's see if it works or not.
Yes, if it works, I think that's okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. And Nick, thank you for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and I do want to say before I begin my remarks, could the city staff please stand, because it was a team effort, and so I get to speak, but it was a team effort. Thank you all so very much for helping today. Linda, we have not had the opportunity to meet, but I'll just say that when Fred came to town along with Jim and Nick months ago, it was a pleasure for us to have them in the community, to think about them making an investment, you all making an investment in our community. So I do want to say, welcome Linamar, North Carolina, to your home. Thank you so very much for making the right choice. I've had the pleasure of getting to know this organization and its leadership over the past year. From our first meeting and the conversations that followed, it became evident that Linamar's family origins, growth strategies, corporate values, and commitment to its employees provided a strong and professional match for Asheville. I trust that in the years to come, many of you in this room today will become not only friends and neighbors with the company's management and staff, but true partners in growing the Linamar business for our next generation. I'm confident that the spirit of partnership which drove this project and secured this world-class employer in our community will strengthen and grow in the years ahead. To Linamar's leadership, I pledge the full support of our city, the strength of our world-class workforce, and the innovative and independent spirit of our residents who have long worked together to support our neighbors, strengthen the community, to solve problems, to grow businesses, and to move our region ahead to you. We look forward to a brighter future in Asheville because of Linamar. At this time, I just want to call up Mark and give you a small token on behalf of the Asheville City Council and Councilman Smith. This is the time I call you up to help give this gift away. And you get to open it. And it was done by a local artist. And it's Linamar.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Bellamy. Appreciate that. It'll look nice, Mark, in your office when you move over there. The next group of people that I'd like to express our appreciation to would be the county. And David Gant, who's the chairman of the County Board of Commissions, has agreed to come up and say a few words. So, David.
I want to recognize our county staff. Would they stand, including Commissioner Peterson and Commissioner and Chairman of EDC, Bailey? They work, but it is a team effort, folks. I was talking to Nick and Jim earlier, and it's kind of like a All-America. Basketball's here, you know, you're hockey, but we're basketball. And basketball, you're like an All-America basketball player everybody was wanting to get to come to their school. And we want you here bad. We recruited you, but we recruited you because we know your values. And Linda, I think about your dad in the basement, working, that Canadian ingenuity. I'm sure he had no idea that you would be up here opening your 39th plant. And you know, you do it the right way. Jim, Linda, Mark, Nick, your core purpose to do what we do best better for for the benefit of our stakeholders. Isn't that a good way to live? That's what these folks are going to be doing. You're going to be putting meat on the bones. They've given you the framework. And think about what this is going to look like in the future. It's great to have you here. We are so proud to be your partners. At the time we announced this back at the Grove Park Inn that Mark talked about, and they talk about local people. Mark's not from around these parts, but we had him down in Shelby for how long? 10 years, so we southernized him pretty good. He kept a little accent, but he probably throws in a y'all. I bet you go home and people think, where you been, Mark? That tends to happen because we like to rub off on folks. But at the time we announced, we spoke of the strong tradition that advanced manufacturing has always enjoyed in Buncombe County. This specialization and expertise has been maintained through our skilled workforce, and you've already got a good taste of them, and there are a lot more of them out there. And we're looking forward to adding that group. And this will be the last time 200 people can sit in this facility because, like he said, they're going to fill this up. We also have our impeccable education partners like AB Tech and the glowing cluster of advanced manufacturing companies and spin-offs that you're going to help us have to help supply you and help you do your job in our metro area. The entry of Linamar to Buncombe County confirms our community's ability to attract and locate high-caliber international firms. And Lou Blyweiss, Lou, airport director, we're working on that direct flight to Canada. We're probably going to have to go to Toronto instead of, but we're going to work on it. And he's got your card. We got it in the works. It's going to happen. We did it once. We can do it again. That require a highly trained workforce in advanced manufacturing. And you know, you've probably heard this in Canada as well as we hear here. You know, manufacturing really tough, low wage. You know, they're just going to go away. But you break the mold. You have the smarts to see what works in Canada and North America and U.S. is to have that skilled workforce and do that precision that you do. And it's always going to be a market for that, and you're going to need skilled people, and we're going to provide them for you. We're grateful to the team at Linamar for their commitment to our community and the speed and determination that they've displayed to fulfill their commitments to the state and Buncombe County. And we're here to assure you today that the people of Buncombe County are ready for you. The spirit of our citizens to persevere and provide unsurpassed quality to the employers is right here. These people, your work ethic is admirable and measurable. Just like Frank when he was tinker around that basement trying to build something that he could make a living on. That Canadian engineer, we're going to try to adopt that here in North Carolina. And we're going to exceed your expectations because our work ethic is admirable and measurable, and we're going to show you. Folks, take a look around. Like I said, you're never going to see it like this again. This place is going to have machines all over it. We're going to be working over here pretty soon, and you're going to be employing hundreds of Buncombe County residents throughout the future. Thank you for your investment here. We're going to be a good investment for you. We're going to make you proud. You've already made us proud by coming here. We're pleased to have you as a workforce partner. In our economic growth, we're planning on being partners past, present, and long into the future as you work with Caterpillar, Volvo. Isn't it kind of, Volvo folks here? I saw one or two. It's ironic that your plant will be sending you materials and you'll keep on here. You might recognize some of the parts and machines. And we're glad to do that ultimate recycling of the facility that you did so much for Buncombe County and our community. Now you're going to be giving back by being a customer, and it just goes on and on. That's what we love about Volvo, we love about Linamar, is that we're going to keep on working and figuring out ways to grow better, to do what we do best, better for the benefit of all the stakeholders. Thank you so much for being here. It is my pleasure, and I'll ask Commissioner Peterson and Vice Chair Stanley's not here today. He is out of town. But Chairman and Commissioner Bailey, to present to you, Linda, I'd like to walk over here. This is handmade locally. It's stained glass. It's to remind you of the hills here and how much you mean to us and how much we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David. Well, last but not least, it's my great pleasure to announce somebody who we've been working with for the last 12 months and has been a great supporter of us getting here, along with everybody else. I have a warm spot in my heart for our County Commissioner of Buncombe County, K. Ray Bailey.
Thank you, Nick. It's a real pleasure for me to be here today as the chair of the Economic Development Coalition. Asheville, Buncombe County celebrate this grand opening. There are two people in the room that worked with me that have not been introduced through all of this time, and that's Ben Teague, who is our Vice President at the Chamber for Economic Development, and Clark Duncan. Where are you, Clark? And all the people from Linamar will tell you that they have been the face of our effort from Asheville and Buncombe County to help with this project. March 2011, they got a call me, I think it came from Martin, that there was a company that was looking at North and South Carolina. Didn't know the name, didn't know what they made, but they said it was significant. Well, significant gets our attention very quickly. And so we decided that they were coming down. We walked into a room of people from Linamar that we didn't know they were from Linamar. We knew they were from North. That's all we did. And we had in that room A.B. Tech, superintendents of the schools, people representing real estate, Employment Security Commission, our EDC, people from the city, people from the county. And we wanted to impress them with our ability to bring them here and to meet all of their requirements. As I looked around that room, and they weren't very friendly that day, if I recall. Didn't smile a lot, and that's sort of akin to me like Sherman marching through Georgia. Now, for those of you who don't know the rest of that story, I can tell you in private. But that's sort of the way we felt. But at the end of the day, it was a good meeting. And with a promise that they would come back again, and they did in a couple of weeks. And I believe Nick was in the next group that came in, and we walked through this facility, talked a bit, had a little meeting over in the boardroom, and then I think, Nick, if I'm not mistaken, you were getting on a plane going to Augusta. So you know what time of the year that was. I really wanted to go with him. And so we started meeting, and we met, and then they decided to bring in, we knew them as Project ICE, still not Linamar, but they decided to bring in the chairman of the board. And this is a story that I've told before, but Linda, you haven't heard it, I don't think. And so that morning I get a call as I'm walking out the door and said, Frank is here, he doesn't have a tie, just found out that the governor's coming. Keith was in tow, and Dale and others. So I go back to my closet, and the first blue tie had to be blue to match what Frank had on. First blue tie I found just happened to be the best tie I owned. So I brought that tie, and Frank put it on. The governor came, we had a wonderful meeting, and by that time, we had warmed up to each other. And we knew, and they knew, that this was a good site for them to be. But when that meeting was over, Frank went out and got on the plane and went to Canada, and I'm seeing my blue tie. Do you know whatever happened to that blue tie? But we did, we worked together, and we knew that we all had common values, and of course, they were still playing the, they still playing a little game a little bit with us, well, Winston-Salem looks good, Greenville, South Carolina looks good. And we kept saying there's nothing better than Asheville. Nothing better than Asheville because we have the facility that met their need. We were close to the people that they need to be providing for. And I promised Nick a workforce that the first day they had a job fair would wrap around the building. Well, I was wrong about that. They wrapped around the building 2 times. And we're there at the crack of dawn trying to fill out applications to be a part of your company. And I think that we've all found that what we can provide is an outstanding, skilled workforce in this community. And I think we've done it. Nick is an outstanding individual. I've got tremendous respect for him. Delighted to call him my friend because I think he's a super industrialist. And I think he's in the same mold that your dad was. Because when I had a chance to sit down and talk to Frank about manufacturing, he talked about minutia of things that could make money and make it better. And Nick can do that same thing, and we've had that kind of conversation. Nick is the driving force behind why we're all here today, and I'm sure of that in my own mind. To accomplish this vision, he knew that he had to put together a great team. And he hired Mark Preffinger, who in my opinion is the right person at the right time at this site. And then he hired Tom, and then he hired Jane, and then he hired all of these other folks. They haven't missed a beat. We are looking forward, and it's been talked about today since the June 30th announcement of the number of pieces of equipment, the investment that we have here. I always like to hear Nick talk about that June 30th night at the Grove Park Inn. He didn't talk about walking into the room and everybody that was a politician of any shape, form, or fashion wanted to be in the room because they knew it was an important thing for us. And we walked through the bowels of the Grove Park Inn, through the kitchens and all that, and came out beside the stage, and we walked up there, and he's right. If you could have seen his eyes with a 10-minute ovation. And he will tell you he wasn't really prepared to say a whole lot that night, but he did a great job. Linamar has been in business for 45 years. And we hope their next 45 will make this site the flagship of all Linamar in the world. But the next step is to fill this building up, build a new building, and get that group headquarters here that I've announced 3 times. And I'm trying my best. I'm showing Nick one by one every golf course in Western North Carolina. But I think I finally figured it out this weekend. If we can get Gail Adams here and show her the house that she needs to live in, the group headquarters will soon follow. I'm delighted to be a part of the team that has worked with Linamar. Our promise to you on that very first day is that if you announced to come here, we would be with you as long as you're here and help you with everything we can do. Mark and I have conversations almost weekly, sometimes daily, about things that they need to know about this community. So it's a great day for economic development in Buncombe County, and we're glad that you all are here. And now, Linda, I've got a gift to you from the Economic Development Coalition and from the Asheville Area Chamber of Commerce.
You know, every time I come down here and get in front of an audience with media and a lot of the local people, Mr. Bailey announces my intention to come down here and live. So now I can count on for the next 2 weeks mail from every real estate agent. And so anyway, just before we close the ceremony, I'd like to invite our President and Chief Operating Officer, Jim Jarrell, up.
Okay, now we, Linda, if she could come up, myself and Nick get an opportunity to welcome some of the officials here to the Linamar team. As you have heard, teamwork at Linamar is absolutely critical. We're very, very serious about that. And we have a motto, which is we are one team with one mission to be $10 billion in sales by the year 2020. Okay. And how do we do that? David said it really well, to do what we do best, better, for the benefit of all of our stakeholders. Stakeholders, customers, thank you very much for the work. Suppliers, thank you for the service you offer. Employees, cannot happen without the employees. And the community, and it's represented here from the county, the state, and the city. There's a lot of times, I was talking to David earlier, you can walk into a community as a business and you can really struggle with all the red tape that gets put up about doing stuff. The state, the county, and the city rolled out the red carpet for us here, and I can tell you it's been awesome. So we want to welcome some to the team. So first, we'd like to welcome Keith Crisco to the Linamar team. Come on up, please. As well, we have a sweater as well for the governor. That goes with the hockey stick Nick gave her last year. Next, we would like to welcome Mayor Bellamy to the Linamar team. Next, we'd like to welcome Ben Teague to the Linamar team. Next, we'd like to welcome Wanda Green to the Linamar team.
Next, we'd like to welcome Margie Bukowski to the Linamar team. Next, we'd like to welcome David Gant to the Linamar team. And finally, last but not least, Mr. K. Ray Bailey, welcome to the Linamar team. So this is the new team that will be replacing the Toronto Maple Leafs up in Canada.
Well, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I know.
Can't be any worse.
Yeah. Now before we sit down, K-Ray mentioned a story about a tie, and you know, quite honestly, before I left, Linda and I went into her father's office and we said, "Mr. Hasenfratz," she said Frank, I said Mr. Hasenfratz. You know, K-Ray, he needs his tie back. And Frank said, "Jim, he gave me that for free." And he says, "You know what? When you get one for free, you ask for a second." But we're not going to do that to you, K-Ray. We're actually going to give you back a new, brand new blue tie. Okay, and then the last thing that Nick, Lynn, and I have to do, we have to be a bit of a referee today for Linamar, and this happens time to time in a business, as you know. There was a wager that was made last year between Mark and Shari. Where's Shari? Shari back there, and it was a wager about the baseball series between the New York Yankees and the Detroit Tigers, and the bet was whoever lost would have to wear the other ball cap for a day. So what we'd like to do, Mark, Shari said, "I can't get that to Mark, so can you just give it to him?" So Mark, you got to come up. You have a decision. You can either wear it for the rest of the day or tomorrow before season opening. All right. You got to come get it, though. All right, Mark.
The pictures first. Picture.
Okay. Where's the photographer?
Right there.
Right there. Like to get some pictures of the group, please? Hold on. Hold on.
You gotta do
Yeah, we're gonna do that too.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do that too. Yeah, and then you guys can go ahead in front. Yeah, we'll get scissors in a second. Okay? Okay. So you're gonna do that. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do a ribbon cutting now. Secretary Crisco, the two of you, you want to cut the, get as close this way as you can, guys, so they don't fall off the stage.
Yeah.
Thank you. Watch your fingers. Yay! Okay, we're gonna do one more, if we could, just do one more. Mayor Bellamy and Nick Adams. Oh, I'm sorry, David Gamble. You also, please. Yeah. This should be good. So thanks for everybody for coming. I know it take a lot of time out of your day. It was a great event. We got a lot to do, but this is the start of something really big. And thanks for everybody for coming.